Greetings. This is Skylar Saunders Singh. What's current? Jose Gordo or Gordo Jose. I think it's Jose Gordo because it's usually before it went around. Spanish. Fat Joe is claiming that he jump-started Trick Daddy's career. Now, this is from his mouth, a self-confessed liar. He's lied in his raps. Like you have somebody like Jay-Z, he said, I ain't somebody that make up a whole bunch of shit and a whole bunch of rhymes, and I ain't into it like say a bunch of rhymes. Like he's talking real criminal activity, selling crack cocaine through the streets of Marcy Projects in Brooklyn, New York. That's real talk. He's telling about he lost 92 keys and came back and off a consignment he was able to get back. But Fat Joe apparently he can't keep running off at the mouth, talking about how he had 95% of his rhymes. Now he's saying that Trick Daddy was under him because he said he started his career. Trick Daddy's firing back saying he's like, I forget things, but I don't hallucinate. I know for a fact that I am, in my own mind, and I know for a fact that I started my own career, or he had help from allegedly Uncle Luke Campbell, Luke Skywalker Campbell, Uncle Luke. So it's a weird situation. It's very strange. It's a weird kind of level of understanding. I think they have to find some way, because Trick Daddy had receipts. Trick Daddy said if that were the case, if Fat Joe had started his career, then why wouldn't one of the executives at Atlantic Records, why would he have the CD already from Trick Daddy? That's what he's arguing. He had already received the CD, and that's what Trick Daddy is talking about. They're saying that Fat Joe might have embellished his tale. Yeah, he embellishes a lot. This is what Trick Daddy said. Fat Joe got to be older than me, he said. Quote, because I go to be forgetting things, but I never hallucinate. That's what I was talking about. Fat Joe said he took my CD into Craig Kallman. That was either an A&R or another record executive at Atlantic Records. If you got my deal, how do I get a CD? I see him telling a lot of stories, but he got it confused. Maybe he got it confused. End quote. It just seems real goofy. This seems like a Trout story, but I think, since they're legends. I don't care. They're legends. They're veterans and they're legends. Fat Joe's a legend. Trick Daddy's a legend in their own right. Maybe not the best rappers ever, but they have their own place in hip hop history as, some of the most skilled lyricists and most skilled, rhyme makers. Even though Fat Joe can't rhyme that well, his writing isn't always that great, but he can make a hit. Lean back, and all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. He can make a hit. He's a hit maker. We thuggin', and what's love got to do? Well, yeah, that was Fat Joe, wasn't it? What's love got to do? I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was, yeah. And Ashanti. Fat Joe. Yeah, what's love? Yeah, so that was over 20 years ago. That was way back in 2020, 2002. So just goes to show you, you have to be truthful and honest and at all costs. Unless you're dealing with some axe murderer who wants to know where your family is, then you can lie to that person. You can lie to the gunman who wants to know where your valuables are, where your values are. That's the time when you lie, but not this. This is different. He's talking about how Fat Joe is talking about how you have to make up things in your records. He said 95% of his stuff in his rhymes are made up. He at least admitted to that. But the best rhymers, the best rappers speak about real life, speak about their truth. The artist formerly known as Kanye West, yay, he was in a near fatal car collision. He rapped about that. Jay-Z, he rapped about so many other things. He rapped about, and then Ye also about his mother, about his divorce, his children, everything like that. You believe him, and that was pre-Vultures Part 1. And I will never listen to that or any other of his works after that. I'm never going to support him. Or I may listen to it, but it's not going to be on a streaming site. It's just going to be a borrowed CD or something like that. I'm not going to support him. He definitely went against all protocol. But anyway, you have people like Jay-Z talking about how he cheated on Beyonce, how his previous girl had a miscarriage, a female that he was with, how he was shot at 3 times, and just different scenarios like that. People are telling the truth. So many rappers tell the truth. They're telling the reality. Paint pictures with poems, but they're telling the truth. They're telling what's really going on in the streets. So Trick Daddy is just trying to defend his honor, basically, against Fat Joe and what he has to say. He's basically stating that he is well aware of the facts that Fat Joe could be, he himself could be hallucinating. Who knows? Maybe he had one too many, Sloppy Joe burgers or Sloppy Joe sliders from White Castle. Who knows? I'm saying allegedly. But yeah, so that's where we are right now. That's the plane of existence that we are currently functioning on right now as we speak. I think it's amazing how you can be, such a huge, not no pun intended, but a huge star like Fat Joe and Chick Daddy, also a very bright star who's waned and he's dimmed in the last few decades. He hasn't had a hit really, I don't think, in multiple years, but I think that's basically where he is now. That's the issue that we have to face. And like Trick Daddy, you gotta take his word for it. He said he never had sex that costed. That was one of the first things that came to my mind when I was 11 or 12 years old. I was like, damn, right? And I was watching Pimps Up Hoes Down on HBO. I was like, man, I'm not gonna be a John. I'm not gonna be a Trick. I'm not gonna be one of these cats out here. Let them be Johns and Tricks, though. We need Johns and Tricks, but I'm not gonna be one of them. I'm gonna be a man when I grow up, and I happen to be a Marine. I'm not a pimp, but I have pimp tactics. But I think Trick Daddy is telling his truth, telling his reality, telling who he is, telling what's what's about, what he's about, and what he continues to say on various occasions. Especially with VladTV. There's places you go. It's weird. It's like there's Drink Champs. You get saucy. You get to talking. You get to run in your mouth. You get to say things that you shouldn't be saying. And then Nori is and DJ Effin are surprised in some way. Oh, you can't say that. Oh, you can't. We're gonna have to edit that out. We're gonna have to run that back. Oh, whatever. And they know that's what they wanted in the first place. They knew that the guest is going to get slizzard on the goose and, fine off that wine and, get here with some beer, or, get quicker with the liquor. That's going to be the key to this. That's going to be the reality of all this. I think, from my perspective. And by the way, I have 0 people watching me right now. Dot Focus, I need you. He just signed on. He's live on Thrive. I mean Twitch. I mean say Thrive. He's live on Twitch. Sunday Fun Day. So I got 1 viewer in here. It could be him. I don't know. I don't see a like. I got 1 viewer, no likes. I need a like. Okay, now I have 0 viewers again. Okay. So with Trick Daddy, all he has to do is just tell the truth, like he's supposed to be saying. He has some conscious records. I remember, no way, not in America. I'm in this Mercedes business. I'm still a nigga. Like I remember that line. I remember from that song. That was something that was unexpected from Trick Daddy. You expected a Southern rapper talking about rims and gold teeth and biscuits and fried chicken and stuff like that, but he actually has some substantive songs. So you have to give him his credit. You have to salute him for that. I know I do. So that's why I think it's so important that we keep hip hop truthful and honest. Even if it's something. I mean, the words that are spoken from the mouth into the recording device, into the microphone, they should all correspond with reality. They should all correspond with the truth. No matter how harmful or hurtful it is you'll find yourself to be rewarded at the end, because you'll get the monetary gain, of course, if your song is a hit, and it goes on your album, and that playlist or song list is a hit. That's going to definitely propel you forward. It's going to give you leverage, because it's going to. I remember that from the 90s, keeping it real. That was one of the biggest. I mean, people still use keep it real, keep it a buck. Keep it 100, and don't cap. So it looks like Fat Joe is capping. It looks like he's capping a lot. So that's what this article is mainly concerning. It's by Bernadette Giacomazzo. She's one of my favorite writers for Hip Hop DX. Bernadette Giacomazzo. But that's what is so strange about this whole situation, is that you're trying to find a New York, an East Coast New York, Bronx rapper discovering a Florida rapper later on in life. It just seems weird. And like I said, with Trick Daddy's receipts, it kind of just changes the narrative of the whole thing. It curves the focus towards who's telling the truth, who's telling the tall tales. That's the difference that we have to realize in what we're doing now. So I think with Trick Daddy, he's got a good career. He's got Slip and Slide Records. I don't know if he owns it or owns a portion of it or a percentage. Fat Joe, he was a boss at one point. He was a boss at Terror Squad. Now he's just running around like a worker on Rock Nation under Jay-Z. He was a boss. Even if you're a small boss, I'm a small boss, but I'm a boss. I don't answer to anyone. And there's nothing wrong with answering to somebody, but once you become a boss, you should stay a boss. You shouldn't have to, revert back. But there's plenty of people that are bosses that are on the track. There are plenty of occasions and different individuals who are still on the track, like Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey's doing all kinds of different shows and stuff like that on our network. And it's like, dang, you still on the track? What you still doing on the track? You got like $4 billion, whatever, how much she got. She got money. She got good money. She got great money. Forget that. She got very good, great money. She got money, long money. So I think with Fat Joe, he just needs to tell the truth. That's all he needs to do. It's as simple as that. Tell reality. Don't make up stuff don't make up shit in a whole bunch of lines. Jay-Z, yeah, that's why he's the GOAT. I mean, to a lot of you, he's not my favorite rapper. My favorite rapper is Master P. But Jay-Z, to many people and to many polls, he's number one. He's the greatest rapper of all time. He's the GOAT. So if you have any issue with the people that focus on just say anything, just make up anything. Like there's a song, very underground song. I don't even think it cracked any charts or anything, but it was played on the Star. It was on Live and Direct, and it was called "Sound Good." It's basically a really great structured song. Talking about how you should make up stuff in a whole bunch of lines. That's basically what it means. At the beginning of the song, it's like $50,000 on my wrist piece. Got your baby mama in my Bentley. And like the rapper that's on the song, he's like, whoa, I don't have no Bentley. Like, I ain't got no Bentley. And they keep telling me to make happy songs so these niggas and bras can get to the clubs and rap along. Sings, it's like they want you to say, the most outlandish, crazy thing. I killed 17 people in the streets, and I served over 300 kilos of cocaine. Like, you can just say anything you want on a record. That'll be, sound hot with a beat, and as long as you can flow over it, then it seems like it has credence to it. That's just very strange. That's very weird to me. That's goofy. I'm no rapper, but if I was ever to have, some kind of understanding of what it means to be a rapper, I would definitely be truthful and honest with every single bar. Every single word has to be true. Everything has to be reality based. It's not that hard. It's very simple actually to tell the truth. To tell the truth is very simple. And not because it's the easiest thing to remember. It's because it is matching up with reality. It matches up with your brain. It's like pouring sand in your gas tank for all you internal combustion engine owners, and rather than you battery operated car owners. But it's like pouring sugar in your tank or something like that. That's the way it kind of goes. That's the weird understanding that goes down in hip hop. Who's real, who's not. She's real, but he's not. That's the question. That's the question you have to ask yourself. Are you real? Are you true? Are you honest? Are you telling the exact reality of the situation? And I think that's what Trick Daddy is doing right now. He's not looking the greatest. He looks worse than I do in my face. Like his face is bloated. He's got the gold teeth. He's got the braids still. But well, I don't know. He may not have the braids. He's got the hat on in the video in the VladTV interview. But still, he looks a little crazy, just a little crazy. He's got the chin neck, the check. The chin going in the neck like this, kind of like mine. People people being kind, people are being nice, about me and my weight. They're like, "Oh, you look healthy." Well, I don't only look emaciated. I guess that's the opposite, looking completely like Iggy Pop from the Stooges or something like that, or Anthony Kiedis from Red Hot Chili Peppers. just that's just the nature of the beast. It's the nature of reality, nature of real men. Jose Gordo, Fat Joe. It's in question whether he's a real man. If you're not telling the truth, how can you stand on your own reality? How can you stand on your own feet? How can you stand on your own truth? How can you not have a spine? How can you not have balls to tell the truth? That's that's where the term testes comes from. Testes comes from the word test or testicles, meaning that they would hold on to their testicles during, testimony, another test. Yeah, here's from in the internet from testify word origins. The aforementioned. Okay, so it's a myth. It's all myth now. I just made all that up. See, I'm capping. I thought, that's from. I'm glad I have the internet in front of me. But the aforementioned myth is that the Latin word comes from a purported Roman practice of men grabbing each other's or their own testicles when swearing an oath. The myth dates to the medieval period and is simply not true. We have many accounts of Romans swearing oaths, and not one involves touching one's testicles. So I'm glad I looked that up. I had to see. If I'm wrong, I'll let you know. I'm not going to hide the truth. I'm not going to lie about it. I'll look it up. I'll say, wait a minute. Let me make sure. Let me do the research on that. Let me, figure out what's the actuals, what's the factual, and we'll go on from there. That's the best part of viewing that. That's the power of being within the system of truth, of reality, of being someone that is proper, that has their mind. That's what it is. It's a selfish thing. To tell the truth is selfish. You have to have your own integrity and your own honesty to tell the truth so that you can preserve your own mind. And of course, you don't want to hurt anyone else, so it's not a bad trade. So you don't have a bad trade. That's obvious with a lie too. You lie, that's hurting someone else. And they ask you, why'd you lie to me? And what is going to be your answer? You're going to wonder why you're not, telling the truth, why you're not, being real. So that's, the basics of what this little, I don't know, it's not beef. It's definitely not beef. It's not even stress, tension, stress, drama and or tension. It's just a misunderstanding. That's what it looks like. Fat Joe either lied again or Trick Daddy may have, forgot because he's up there in the years. I think he's like 49 years old, something like that. Let me see. Trick Daddy. He's 49. And I still think he has the braids, but he keeps it under a hat. He keeps them under a hat. But yeah, he's definitely one of the best. He put on. I don't know. This could be Cap too, but he definitely was one of the people behind the careers of Trina. So she's one of the queens of hip hop of all time. She's one of the best ever. She's a legend. She's a veteran and a legend at the same time. So definitely salute to Trick Daddy. Salute to Fat Joe if he gets his mind right. Stop all the capping. Stop all the lying. That's all he has to do. But that's the epitome of it. That's the absolute epitome of existence. They say, it may be Mr. Shakespeare that said this. To thine own self be true. That's a fact. To yourself to be true. Be true to everyone. Be true to your people that are around you. Because that's the worst thing that happens. That's like you lie, then you got to figure out, okay, who did I lie to? Okay, and how many times did I lie? And did they get the word back that I did this and I really didn't do this? And they told somebody else that did this. And when all you had to do was tell the truth from the get-go, from the beginning. Let that be your defining moment, that you told the truth. That be the reality that you seek to purport out into the world. And that's what makes it so important to be honest. If you're not honest, I mean, this starts. I've lied. I've lied, and it sucks. It's the worst thing you can do. You start lying, and then it just rolls and gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you can't sleep at night, and you're thinking about this and you're thinking about that, and you can't function. So that's what I think Fat Joe must do. He's got to get the reins back. He's got to get grip on reality. Start telling the truth. If he's going to pick up the mic again, instead of running around like a worker on Rock Nation, I mean, Big Pun would be probably disappointed in him, allegedly. In a sense, he would probably, maybe even disown him in a sense. But that may be going too far. I don't know. You'll never know. So we'll never know. That's what I think is so powerful. The truth, the reality. Telling it like it is. Being very focused on being a person that is honest and true. And one that knows what to do with their own life and how they deal with other people. Because that's the trade. It's not that you have to be selfless and altruistic with other people. You have to be truthful and honest with other people. So this Trick Daddy Fat Joe kind of situation, I guess is the best word to describe it, is weird. I know it seems like trout, but I think this could be a marlin. It came up as a top story on Hip Hop DX. So I was like, all right, let me run with it. I looked it up, looked up the various issues. So, Fat Joe is steadily saying, Fat Joe is definitely saying that he got it confused. That, Fat Joe, is either, smoking on some of that goody, or he just can't, deal with reality. Can't deal with the truth. He can't deal with telling lies and telling the truth. He can't distinguish either one. But he can make a hit. Lean back. Lean back. Lean back. All the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. What's love got to do? Got to do with it. We thug and all love and got Chris all of that. Fly, fancy, jiggy nigger shit. All that goes into account. That's the world that Fat Joe, Jose Cartanega, put together. Cartagena, excuse me, not Cartanega. Cartagena. Joseph Cartagena. So he was concerned, about the YSL case, saying that, during the RICO trial that it's a horrible and a travesty. this is the lyrics that Thugger used. This is way back. This is a few months ago, with Fat Joe's talk with Gayle King. So he was just airing out. He was just airing it out, letting people know. Okay, half of the show done. Half of the show to go. Got to talk about church. I went to church this Sunday. I'm an atheist. I go to church with my dad, who's a minister. We should have our own podcast, broadcast, YouTube, movie, book deal, something. It's a very interesting, combination, situation we have. But I go, because I don't want him to go by himself. He's a minister there, but not a minister at that church, but just in general. Just he's an ordained minister. And I'm just an atheist. I have no connection to, the especially the Christian world, but also, Islam or Judaism or Buddhism or Hinduism, any other isms besides objectivism. That's the only philosophy, not religion, that I subscribe to and will always subscribe to forever as long as I'm in this body. But one of the topics of today's sermon was the bridegroom idea of Jesus and the bride being the church, and the covenant being a ring on the finger of the bride. That's the metaphor he was making. He was like, he had people go up on stage, and he was like directing them to see, okay, you be over here. You're gonna make up a place at the house, and I'm gonna be. The woman's gonna be over here, and she's gonna be standing as the bride. And then there's gonna be detractors in the back of both of them, and they're gonna try to mess up the marriage, but they can't because the bond is so strong. So that was like a metaphor, and this is to go on with his series of the wilderness. So are you in the wilderness? That's the question. What is your wilderness? This could be a very dry place. This could be a very barren place. But it could also be a very fulfilling place. It could be a very, affirming place, life-affirming place to be in, to be currently, understanding all that goes into it. And I still have 0 people, 0 views, 0 likes. I'm liking this. This is great. This is great. All right, so let me take a brief break while just a sponsorship break. While I go over it, while you mull over what is your wilderness. All right, so if you want to see a great website, streamlined, looks very professional, go to lifestrongapparel.com. That's LIFESTRONGAPPAREL.com. That's my man Peng. He has allegedly great products. I'm still waiting on them. But yeah, he has great products that I would imagine are great. But if you go into a site, tell them that Skylar Saunders sent you. Tell them that I sent you. Also, subscribe to B Jackson 5478. That's at BEEJACKSON 5478 on YouTube.com. Tell them I sent you as well. Tell all these people I sent you. Now, if you want to hear Kim, if you want to hear Anita Baker, if you want to hear Zap, if you want to hear Peebo Bryson, go to Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube.com. That's SPIRITSMOTHUNES. I jingled that up, so I'll say it again. SPIRITSMOOTHUNES on YouTube.com. I was a spelling champion for like 3rd place in 6th grade, so it's a long time ago. Not so great anymore. Check out, and I'm reading the actual words. I'm not even trying to say it in my head. Dot focus. So twitch.tv/DOTFOCUS _ just 1 _. not anything else. That's twitch.tv/DOTFOCUS_. Advertising and sponsorship. SkylerSaunders@gmail.com. That's SkylerSaunders@gmail.com. Also, if you want to be a contributor, if you want to be a supporter, join Skyler's 100 Club. That's my club. By contributing $100 or more in a month to the broadcast. In addition, this is the way you do it. PayPal, paypal.me/SkylerSaunders, and Venmo @Skylerized. And also my favorite, Cash App, $SkylerSaunders1. So I want to, let that be known. But, okay, so did you figure out what your wilderness is? Your wilderness doesn't have to be, a desolate place. It doesn't have to be the barren land. It could just be a place of where you could be rewarded or you could be punished. That's what it means. And it's all about John the Baptist. It's about the I learned out the word, looked up the word. Hold on, I'm looking it up right now. I'm looking it up right now. It's called the Pentateuch or the Pentateuch. I can't pronounce that properly. But it's the first 5 books of the Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Those are the books of law, basically. The books of, the Torah that are part of the Jewish tradition, to be precise, the Hebrew Bible. But this pastor is a Christian pastor, so he knows how to play the game. He knows how to do this. He knows exactly what to say, because he's tying all the things from the Old Testament into the New Testament and showing how various situations and various events from the book, from the Bible itself, all lead up to Jesus. And that's what one thing that is prominent and paramount in thousands of sermons, maybe millions of sermons across this country, across the world, especially, but definitely in this country. They have to have some, new way. They have to have a novel way of presenting, the idea of Jesus and making it make sense and making it clear. And how they say it plain, Pastor. They say that, so he makes it plain. It just is amazing to me as an atheist to reap the benefits of his word. I understand the pimpmanship, being a pimp and a pastor, to give the good word, to give the good, have the solid, rock of understanding of through the word. That's powerful. Even as a non-believer in the theory of God, I can know that. I can say that. I can recognize that. I see that as being true. I see that as being real. So that harkens back to the last thing about hip hop. But no, this pastor, he does an excellent job of explaining it even to anybody, from 9 to 99. I said this before, the pastor is definitely on point when it comes to being a theologian, being a scholar, being somebody that knows what he's talking about and how to convey it. Because that's a lot of things. They might know themselves how, to tie Jesus to every facet of the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation. But not every pastor can do that. I have to give him his credit for doing that. His wife can do it too. His wife is a co-pastor, and she can, lay out a story as well. but it's been his time for this past few weeks. They're doing, various, excursions to Rwanda. They were in Israel this past summer before, 10/7, and it just begins to be a beacon to those that believe. I respect everybody that believes. At least you believe in something. That's what everybody says. At least you believe in something. But then you have to be careful with that, because if you believe in something, still believe in something, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're moral or you're virtuous, that you're a good person. And to be, put in plain language, you can be an atheist and be completely good. You can be a great person, or you can be a terrible person. You can be a Christian, you can be a good person, or you can be a terrible person. It all comes down to who you are as a human being by yourself, when no one's around, no one's looking, and you're able to be your own self. That's the key. That's what's so powerful. That's why I think it really comes down to individualism and reason and individualism and personal freedom. That's nothing what's in the book, in the Bible. There's no freedom of speech in the Bible. They say, oh, well, you have free will and you can do what you want, and God can punish you or, reward you, whatever the case may be later on. You can do, willy-nilly. That's not what it means. No, free will means that you value yourself enough to use your mind to guide your life. That's what free will means to me. That's just a condensed, connotative understanding. It's not the denotative meaning of free will, but that's basically what it means. You just have control over your own person, your own mind, and what you do and how you act. But I want to get back to the sermon today. He had this example, this scenario where the husband and wife, and they were actually husband and wife in real life, but they weren't dressed up or anything like that. But they had their regular clothes on, regular Sunday best. Not too crazy. He was wearing a hoodie and sneakers and tee. She was wearing jeans that were distressed with sneakers as well, and I think she had a hoodie. That's the church protocol. That's the dress that is expected of you. When you go there, it's not a fashion show. That's what I respect about the new age churches now. Anyway, you're not going there to be suited and booted and got your hair did, got the big hats and all that. It's not about that. It's about you reaping whatever you can from the word that is passed down to you. And I can reap from the word. I actually have to have it to understand what I'm going against, what I'm can profit from, what I can understand. That's what's so important, is the fact that there has to be a level of understanding, no matter what. No matter the fact that I'm a non-believer in the theory of God, an atheist, whatever the case may be, doesn't matter. You can be anybody and still reap benefits from the word of the alleged God. But it still startles me when I'm looking out. I'm seeing all these people, and they're it's like I got a lot of work to do. We objectivists, people in we got a lot of work to do just to get Ayn Rand's name out. I was on the Black or BLK, I guess you say. It could be Block, it could be Blick or Bluck or Balk. It just says BLK, so I get it infers that you're black. Anyway, I'm on that dating app. It's really a subsidiary of Plenty of Fish. But I introduced. I said, how many Ayn Rand books have you read, or how many have you ever heard of Ayn Rand, or I never heard of her. I never read any of her books. So it's like 3 or 4 people that I just of the 5 or 6 people that I follow, or a little bit more. I think maybe more now, but at least the 5 or 6 people that I follow, like, no, I've never heard of her. I've never seen her before. I never heard of her. And it's like, damn, how is that possible? How does that even work? It's going to go down to 0 again. And so it was 1 and it goes to 0. It goes 1 and it goes 0. But how does that work? How does that even function? How does that even go? Where you don't know who Ayn Rand is. That's what's so scary. And how fortunate I am to know that Mr. Chorstar Terrain introduced me to Ayn Rand. If it weren't for him, I would never have known about her beyond the fact that my sister had her for a reading list in the 9th grade of Anthem, her novella or novelette, however you want to say it is. Ayn Rand's novella. I had no clue. I didn't know. I was like, okay. And I'm listening to the show. I'm like, okay, Ayn Rand, all right, okay. Objective reality, all right. And then I see on TCM that they're showing the Fountainhead. And I was like, oh, that's who he was talking about on the radio. And this is like in 2005, 2006. And I'm like, wait a minute, let me see what this is about. And I'm like, whoa, the final speech blew me away. That was what hooked me. But what drew me in was, of course, Mr. Chorstar Terrain's book, Objective Hate, but also Ayn Rand's book, The Virtue of Selfishness. This book did a number on me. And I think that the essay that really drew it out was The Objectivist Ethics. The Objectivist Ethics. I need a like. I saw 2 people come in here. I need at least 1 like so there's 1 person watching. Don't forget to smash that like button. Smash it. But but I wanted to, completely say that it transformed me, and it's about Ayn Rand discusses. I can't say the entire quote, but she was saying how, what programs your subconscious, your consciousness, reading books, writing, talking, speaking, being alive, being aware, watching TV, listening to music, watching movies and TV shows. All that is all conscious. You're conscious of doing that. Which, your subconscious is taking all that in, and then it comes out when you write, when you create, when you start, when you video, when you do all these things to make things. It all comes out from your subconsciousness. So when I'm confronted with somebody, I know exactly what to say and how to act because I read it and I applied it and I integrated it into my life. So I think that's the amazing part about the epistemology of objectivists. The objectivist epistemology. I've yet to read that book, The Introduction to Objectivist Epistemology. That's the only nonfiction book of hers that I have not read. I've read For the New Intellectual, Virtue of Selfishness that I said aforementioned. Well, I can do it. What was it? It's virtuous. Well, hold on. I gotta go back. Hold on. It goes. Okay, metaphysics is introduction to it's for the new intellectual. I'm stumbling and fumbling here. For the new intellectual, philosophy who needs it. The virtue of selfishness, capitalism, the unknown ideal, and the Romantic Manifesto. I've read all those books, every last one. I had to make sure I had to get them correct. That's why I was stumbling and fumbling there for a little bit. It's like the catch, you know what I mean? It's like that at the end zone, you're fumbling the ball a little bit, but you catch it and you hold it down and you get the score. That's where I am right now. That's like my existence, completely. I stumble and fumble, but I'll get the score at the end of the day, no matter what. Now, knowing that, No, I'm just watching. I call this could be considered as a spectacle as well. This could be understood as such. Um, the fact that this pastor I could just imagine if these people really knew and really applied and integrated in their life objectivism, but before all that, they would have to be introduced. They would have to have a momentary pause in their life and have to revert everything. That's what's so intractable in a sense. It's not totally intractable, but it's very difficult to do, to burst all those bubbles, because those are serious bubbles. Those are people that are so entrenched in the word of the Lord, quote unquote. They're so ingrained. It's so part of their being. But at the same time, they go out in the world. See, that's the thing with that he mentioned this today. The pastor, he said, "Render what is Caesar's under Caesar, and render unto God what is God's." So that was like the early precursor to separation of church and state. But people don't understand there is no church, church really, those quote unquote. There's no God or anything. So there's really no separation. There's just the state. Or there ought to be a proper state, a proper government, that only protects individual rights. That's it. That's the only reason why there should be a government. And there should be a good government, not a bad government. It should be as a necessary thing, not as a necessary evil, a necessary good. That's what it should be. But he mentioned that's from the scripture that Jesus actually said that. Let me make 100%. I could be capping because I'm trying to remember if he said. I'm trying to remember exactly what he said. I'm trying to remember exactly what he said. He said. Yeah, he said that. That's exactly what he said. Render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. And it's just I'm looking at the Wikipedia right now. It gets deep. It's some words I can't even pronounce right. It says Caesaropapism. It's got theonomic answer, foreshadowing. It's separation of church and state. That's what I mentioned earlier. But it's just I used to think all the time, like, God damn, the past is so ugly, it's so brutal, it's so disgusting, it's so awful. This is terrible. And I just keep going on and on and on and on about that. And I say, but the future, it's not impossible. People can revert. Reality wins every time. Reason wins, but it may not be recognized. Reason will win. Reality wins, but they may not be recognized. The fact that we, do space missions, the fact that there's businessmen and women, the fact that there's scientists, there's fact that there's artists, there's fact that there's producers and creators and people that love life and people that are joyous and people that are poor and productive and want to do right in their lives. That's what I want to represent. That's what I want to, extol and make sure that they get their just due. Because even in his little scenario that the pastor had with the bridegroom of Jesus and the groom of and the bride when the groom, well, he probably wouldn't have it on the stage, but the bride, she represents the church. The covenant is the ring, and this is a goofy thing that I think is funny too, because I watched two Everybody Loves Raymond episodes. One where Raymond loses his ring, and the other where he loses. Well, he didn't lose it. Robert loses it. If you watch the show, you know who Robert is. Robert Barone. But Patricia Heaton's character, his wife, Deborah Barone. She thinks she's found her ring, and it's got a $15,000 diamond that's missing. It's not on there anymore, and she that's a bit of contention for the couple. But anyway, man, in reality, Dr. Jerome Brooke doesn't even have a wedding ring. He's the guy that doesn't wear ties that often. He has worn ties, but he doesn't like it. He doesn't. It's not his forte. It's not his what he looks forward to wearing. I love ties. I like wearing my tie. I think it completes the outfit. It puts a nice little signature on what you wear. But it's just little things like that. I mean, I don't know if he has another reason. Maybe it could be ecclesiastical or ecumenical, relating to the church. He's kind of like thumbing his nose at the fact that people wear their rings and are just so crazy. And I watched on TV. I watched on the news. This woman, she reached into a dumpster and she lost her ring, and it had to be the store. It wouldn't be a store if they didn't find it. They searched for like 3 hours or something like that, and one of the workers found it. But who cares? Why even have a ring? I'm not getting down on one knee, that's for sure. and she's gonna have to put the ring on me if it is. I'm not gonna wear the ring most likely, because sometimes it's like repellent, and I get that. I understand. You wear the ring, it's like, okay, they're engaged, they're married. I can respect that. But some people, repel just to say, look, I'm single, but I'm gonna still wear this ring so nobody comes up to me and asks me, you want to drink or you want to, get out of here or something like that. It's just like that. It's just weird. But the ring is the covenant. The covenant is heavy, heavy, heavy in the Bible. The covenant of God. That is the law. That is what is passed down through generations. Has been going on for thousands and thousands of years. That's the powerful element that it all comes down to. Finally. So we have to be very careful. We have to be very mindful of the fact that there are so many people that are still lost. They said about me, I was talking to a friend of the family. She's saying, my dad was saying, he's an atheist. And she's like, oh, he's lost. I was like, nope, I'm found. I told her straight up, I'm found. I'm good. I'm really okay. I don't have to worry about it. It's not something that I have to, look down upon or anything like that. That's the issue that a lot of people don't realize. That people don't really take into account the facts of the matter. They only want to go with their emotions, and that's how this pastor, he gets by, and how thousands and maybe millions of pastors get by. But this is the weird thing. They think this is true. Jesus is the truth. Everything in the Bible is true. Everything is, part of my religion, not your religion, by the way. Your religion's awful. Your religion's false. That's how subjective it is. Oh, you're in Islam? Oh, I can't. I'm a Christian. No. I respect you. You can do what you got to do. You're a Jew. Oh, you're in Judaism. Oh, okay. You're kind of part of the Bible a little bit, the Old Testament, but you're really not, part of the Christian thing. So, there's those Jews for Jesus. I'm like, I'm totally blown by that. I don't even know what that means. I guess they're saying, if you want to be like Jesus, revert to being a Jew, because that's what Jesus was. He wasn't a Gentile. And don't be a Christian. He wasn't a Christian. There was no Christianity until 40 years after his death. 40 years. 40. So we have to always remember that. We have to always understand and take that in. But hey, this is my Sunday. This is a day that I usually get very little views. I'm okay with that. It's in the rebroadcast. They come up. They crop up a little bit. They do more. So I appreciate it. I appreciate everything that you the subscribers do, the supporters do. I will see you on Monday, tomorrow, on President's Day. I'm going to see if I can talk about the president somehow, and we'll have some fun. So take care, and I'll see you later.